Freedom is misunderstood. Most men think freedom means doing whatever they want. It doesn't. That's impulse. And impulse is a cage. The man who can't control his urges is not free. He's predictable, pulled by desire, distracted by pleasure, weak under temptation. Real freedom is self-command. It's saying no when every instinct says yes. It's walking away from what feels good now to protect what matters later. That's power. A man who controls himself cannot be manipulated. You can't bait him emotionally. You can't rush him. You can't seduce him into weakness because his reactions belong to him. Most men live trapped inside their impulses. Food, sex, entertainment, comfort. They call it freedom because it feels good. But comfort never liberated anyone. Control does. And until you dominate yourself, every external freedom is an illusion. A man without self-control is never in charge. Something else always is. His mood, his hunger, his lust, his need for comfort. That's all it takes. You don't need chains to control a man like that. Just temptation. Offer pleasure. He follows. Apply pressure. He breaks. Delay gratification. He quits. That's why men without self-control are easy to manipulate. Advertisers know it. Algorithms know it. Weak people know it. They pull the same levers. Dopamine, fear, validation. And the man reacts every single time. He thinks he's choosing. He isn't. He's responding. Self-control changes this completely. The man who controls his impulses cannot be rushed. He cannot be baited. He cannot be bribed with pleasure because his decisions are not emotional. They're deliberate, and deliberation is freedom in action. Most men never experience this. They live on autopilot, confusing reaction with choice, until one day they realize their life was shaped by what they couldn't resist. When you control yourself, your power is immediate. Most men waste energy reacting to everything. They argue when insulted. They chase every impulse. They try to control others, but they can't even control themselves. Self-control changes the dynamic instantly. You stay quiet when provoked. You stay patient when others rush. You stay on task when others get distracted. That's why self-controlled men feel intimidating. They don't give away emotional leverage. They don't react how you expect. They control the pace because they control themselves. And in any situation, business, conflict, relationships, the one who controls himself controls the outcome. Because the man who can't be provoked can't be steered. Self-control is not restriction. It's ultimate freedom. You stop being a puppet. You stop being predictable. You become someone others watch because they can't figure out your next move. Self-control makes you untouchable. When you control your reactions, no one can force you off course. They can insult you, but you decide how to respond. They can tempt you, but you choose when to decline. They can pressure you, but you remain composed. No one can take control from a man who has already taken it from himself. That's why self-control is freedom. You stop being emotionally hijacked. You stop being distracted by every urge. You stop being predictable to anyone. A man who controls himself is a man who cannot be controlled. This isn't suppression, it's mastery. Mastery of how you eat, how you speak, how you rest, how you respond under fire. Every layer of self-control adds a layer of freedom. Because when the world can't predict you, the world respects you. And when you don't need external permission to feel strong, you're truly free. Here's the final truth. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. That's slavery to impulse. Real freedom is self-command. It's waking up and doing what must be done regardless of how you feel. It's saying no to what weakens you even when no one is watching. A man with self-control doesn't need external discipline. He doesn't need supervision. He doesn't need pressure. He doesn't need permission. He governs himself. That's why he's unreachable. You can't bait him. You can't rush him. You can't tempt him off his path because his behavior is not negotiable. Most men chase freedom outside, money, status, pleasure, but without self-control, all of that becomes another leash. Freedom starts inside, with control over your mouth, control over your habits, control over your reactions. And once you have that, nothing external can own you. Not people, not emotions, not circumstances. Self-control is not limitation, it's dominance. And dominance over yourself is the highest form of freedom. This is disobey your limits.